Hey free to play gang, welcome back to another video. So for today, I have something important for you to know. We are going to talk a little bit more about the growth over here, and in particular we're going to focus more on advancement, resonance and ascension, and I'll explain to you exactly how this works and why some of your espers over here have purple stars, why some of them have yellow stars, and what these stars mean. Now if you found this video helpful, consider subscribing because you guys are basically me, and subscribing is free and you can always change your mind. So let's start off with advancement because I think this is the most important one, especially for early gamers. This is the one that you're going to use a lot. Okay, so for the first page over here, this is level, right? So what you can see is that you can consume these guys called experiments and they give varying EXP. But the thing is, if you go to a max level esper, like let's say my Lewis here is max level, you will no longer see the word level, it changes to star. So this is also the same place where you raise your esper star rating. And basically the way this works, you can just press the plus over here to get an explanation of this, right? So what they're saying here is if you're at 4-star max level, which is level 40, you need 4 more pieces of 4-star espers as fodder material to rise yourself up to 5 stars. But the thing is, you do keep your level as 40 as well. This is the whole reason why we do a lot of fodder grinding, okay? We raise a lot of useless espers, so to speak useless, right? And these guys are Starimon, of course. And when you level them up and raise them to 3, 4 and 5 stars, that's how you use them as fodder material to raise your own 5 stars to 6 stars. And of course the maximum star level is 6 because there is not enough space on this page anymore. No, I'm just kidding, that's just the mechanics of the game. But of course that means that you unlock the next level cap, which is basically from 50 to 60. So basically if you're a 2-star esper, you can go up to level 20. If you're a 3-star esper, you can go up to level 30, so on and so forth. So the whole idea is to constantly raise your level cap. But there is another page that we have not looked at, and that is abilities. This does not actually change. And this is also the same place where you level up your skills. And how do you level up your skills? You use stuff called abilimons. And depending on the rarity of your esper, so let's say Lewis, he is obviously a legendary esper. Therefore, you will need a corresponding legendary abilimon. And these guys are really hard to find, but I'll talk more about that in a future video. So for example, going back to the Renzi over here, he is a natural 4 stars. He is an epic esper basically, right? So as you can see, his abilities, in order for you to raise it up a little bit, you need epic abilimons. And obviously for 3-star espers, that requires rare abilimons, which is a lot easier to find. So this is what I mean in my previous video where I talked about farming rare abilimons from the gold shop. I will just link it at the top so that you can refer to it on how to get as many rare abilimons as you can with a rather cheap cost. And I think finally, if your character is at level 60 at 6 stars, then you can take a look at advancement over here and it will be very different, right? Here it will say level max, you can't actually eat any more espers. And if your abilities are maxed as well, you won't be able to use your abilimons and it will say all abilities are maxed out. So that's basically it for advancement. Let's move on to resonance. I think this is very important as well. It is also where you define your esper specifically to how you want to build them. So the thing is, you can press the top right icon over here, the eye, right? And then you can see everything that you need to know about esper resonance. So what happens here is using another card of the same esper will also raise the esper's resonance star rating. So you increase by 1 purple star. So each resonance will evolve an esper star into a resonance star, which is the purple star, granting resonance energy you can assign as you see fit. So this is the part that I love about the game a lot. This lets you build your esper the way you specifically want to, and each point of resonance energy allows you to apply a percentage based upgrade to that esper stats, which you can assign between HP, attack and defense. So for each esper, up to 6 resonances can be triggered because you can go up to 6 stars, and therefore you can convert 6 of your gold stars into resonance stars. Now this part is super important, okay? So the energy an esper gains from each resonance is based on their base star rating. So Drew is obviously a 3-star esper, or rather a rare esper, so each resonance grants 4 energy. And for epic espers, each resonance grants 5 energy, and for legendary espers, each resonance grants 6 energy. And let's take a look at what these energy mean. Okay, so as you can see, I am fully capped out at 6 resonance stars. And based on the rates over here, 6 times 4, that will be 24. And what you notice is I have 24% extra attack. So every single energy goes into 1% of the stat of your choice. And clearly Drew is a damage dealer, so I'm going to dump him with a whole ton of attack. So he has an additional 24% attack, which scales off his base attack. Now the way this works is, let's say I'm talking about Falcon here. We have an extra copy of Falcon. You can just click the resonate at the center of the screen, select the additional Falcon that you already have, and you just click resonance and you will gain 5 energy just like that. So there you go, Divine Resonance, new energy activated, go set it. So from here, we get one additional 4-star Starry based on your initial rarity of your Esper, and you can assign the 5 energy anywhere you want to, so I'm definitely going to go for HP for Falcon. So that's pretty much it. So this is obviously where you define yourself. Like, let's say you have a very strong fusible Gabriel over here that you can easily raise to 6 resonance stars, and therefore you can gain upwards of 36% HP. I'm not actually sure why I put 2% to defense over there, and I can reset it if I want to, but I think I'm just gonna keep it because lol. So yeah, this is where you can gain a lot of stats, and clearly because of this mechanism, this makes rare Espers very, very powerful, not just for the early game but even for the mid game as well. So for Drew, the only reason why I really use him all that much, I think, is because I have fully resonated him and he does tremendous amount of damage as opposed to some of my legendary Espers. So it's gonna be a lot harder for me to, let's say, push Lin Xiao to the same attack power as my Drew, even though probably Lin Xiao can do a lot more damage because she's easier to build, but that's another story. But you kind of get the idea here. Okay, so let's take a look at the third way to improve your Esper, which is the Ascension. Okay, so this is an extremely important way for you to build your Espers, and I highly recommend that all of you guys try to build all your Espers focusing on Ascension. Now, what the Ascension can do for you is to give you stats, and it differs based on Esper. Okay, so for example, what you see here will be completely different for another Esper. So for example, Lin Xiao, she starts off with attack plus 70, and then she moves on to defense plus 70, and then she improves one of her skill like this, and next she increases her attack by 10%, and she increases her attack by another 15%, and then she increases her crit damage by 25%. Now this is different to Clara, right? For example, she starts off with defense plus 70, then HP plus 950, and she also upgrades her passive over here, and then she gains an additional 10% defense, 7 extra speed, and 20% extra HP. So depending on your type, right? So some Espers, they are support, some Espers, they are damage dealers, some Espers, they are controllers. Their ascensions should differ that way. So in order for you to ascend your Espers, obviously you need material. And how do you get a material? You get it directly from the Sonic Miracle. So let's take a look at the Sonic Miracle. Now clearly you can see that they are not all open. So the thing is, the game only unlocks 2 of them every single day. So basically you have Infernus and Windstriker unlocked on one day, and then the next day you will have Flow Runner and Shimmerer unlocked on that day, and then it just rotates that way until Sunday, where all gets unlocked. And of course, the higher the difficulty that you partake in, the higher the probability of you getting rarer loots. So I think if you start off from like the lower levels, you're not actually able to get these materials. Like for example, you will need to beat the 3rd level in order for you to get an advanced Shimmer Wave. If not, you're just stuck with basic Shimmer Wave on level 1 and 2. Now, but the reason why I still advocate for you to farm this, even if you're stuck at difficulty 2, is because you can actually combine them to raise them to the next tier. So let's take a look at how we can combine these Ascension materials. So you press this globe button here, and you can see that you can convert your basics into advanced, or you can convert your advanced into elites. And you need 5 of the cheaper material to unlock one of the more advanced material. And the thing is, if you have excess, like let's say excess elite materials, you can then break it down into 3 advanced materials. So there's going to be a sort of decay in the amount of material that you can have. So only convert it if you desperately need the other material. However, do take note that you cannot convert wind into flow, you cannot convert flow into inferno, you cannot convert inferno into shimmer. You're basically stuck with the element. So I think for all you early gamers out there, I think what's important is for you to focus on both your advancement and your ascension, and focus less on resonance. I think this is going to be a little bit harder. Unless you are using a bunch of 3-star Espers, then it's going to be super easy for you to fully cap out your resonance over here. Like you can see, my Baroness is also capped out, and my Chalmers is also capped out, my Tang Yun is also capped out, my Drew as well. So it's really, really easy for you to cap out your 3-star Espers to give you significant stat boosts. Now with that said, that's the end of this video. If you found it helpful, consider leaving a thumbs up, it really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now this has been free to play by the way, and as always, I will see you in the next video.